What's up guys, welcome back to another run of my videos. I'm back here at Infiniti of Sarasota checking out this 2022 Infiniti Q60. Not just a plain Q60, but this is the Red Sport 400 all-wheel drive edition. So this is the performance version. This is the most expensive, the fully loaded one. And today I'm going to take you on a tour of this vehicle. So we're going to check out the exterior, interior, pop the hood, see what hides underneath it. And then finally I'm going to take you for a spin. So if you're ready, let's go. Well, before we dive into this particular one, I just want to tell you that this is not a completely brand new model. As a matter of fact, Infiniti had the Q60 Coupe the same for about 4 years now, so it is more towards the end of the life cycle than the beginning. But I want to do it because A, I haven't done a Q60 yet, B, it is by far the prettiest car that they had on the lot, and I think that if cars were supermodels, this one definitely would take the top spot as far as the design. Well, first of all, I love the sunstone color on it. This is what it's called. It's bright and red and pops. It's got a bunch of metal flakes inside the paint. If the sun hits it the right way, it really stands out. And I like the design of it. I think this is a typical coupe design with the nice, sleek, aerodynamic, modern lights. I like the way that the lights are kind of very nicely built into this front end. They're fully LED lights with the LED daytime running lights running on top at the bottom, kind of like the eyebrow, and the eyes look like the cat eyes almost. And for this model right here, because it is a sporty one, they didn't use any chrome, so you can see that this grille is dressed in this nice piano black. Not my favorite color as far as the black, but this one fits perfectly with this red exterior of it. Big Infiniti logo right here, and then you have this splitter right at the bottom of it. I think if they done this the black color, or maybe the carbon fiber, which this vehicle does have the carbon fiber package on it, would look even nicer. What else is interesting in here? It does have fog lights. Some of the vehicles don't have fog lights anymore, and it does have this carbon fiber trim that continues throughout the car, both exterior and interior, and I'll point it out to you while we go through it. So fog lights, this is open. No, this is not open, so this is not a functional vent, just a design element in here. But nevertheless, one interesting thing too is there is a little raise right in the middle here, like symmetrically divides this vehicle in two, and then it kind of disappears into this fairly plain hood. Now the hood has got raises on both sides, so kind of gives you that more masculine look. So let's pop it up, because that's what makes this vehicle different than the regular Q60. Alright guys, let's take a peek underneath the hood. First thing you see, it's the V6 twin turbo, and that's basically what it is. 3.0 liter V6 twin turbo engine, producing, as the name of this vehicle says, 400 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission. This particular one is an all-wheel drive, and this engine and transmission combo is capable of sending this vehicle 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds. So pretty quick. Now, one thing worth mentioning too, if you're looking at just a regular Q60, they still still have a V6 engine. Most of the competitors went to a 4-cylinder engine. Infiniti sticks with the V6 even in the base engine model. Now the base one produces 300 horsepower, so substantially less than this particular one. Now if you look at the hood, they have the hood struts right there, which is a nice touch on it. They also have some nice sound dampening insulation on the hood, so it should make for a nice drive, and we're going to check that out at the end of this video. Well guys, even though the design is 4 or 5 years old, it's still one of my favorite designs of any vehicle, simply because the lines just flow so well with it. Now it does have the typical coupe characteristics. It does have the long hood and a nicely sloped back with the big wide door right here. What I want to point out in here, because this is a performance model, so take a look at the size of these wheels. These are 20-inch rims. Very nice design on it. Not a polished aluminum, but kind of more of that grayed out color. But what I also want to point out, that the tires, they're so thin. They're only 35 on the width. They're 255 on the width of the tires, 35 on the height of the tires. And then you can see the red performance brakes with the brake calipers with the Infiniti written on it, peeking through those wheels. That tells you that this vehicle is capable of some serious stopping. Now I told you that in the front we had a little bit of that carbon fiber package, and that continues with this trim piece right here. Now this looks like it is open, so it extracts air from the wheels and the brakes, so when they heat up, at least the air's got somewhere to escape. The carbon fiber mirror covers looks absolutely stunning on this vehicle, and they do have the turn signals built into that. As far as the door handles and around the windows, you do have a little bit of chrome. I almost think that they would be nicer if they actually did all black all around this. This would probably make it a more universal look. And then if you look at the back, it kind of slopes down and then it goes back up with this tiny little spoiler in the back there. So let's check that part out. Well, the back end looks really stylish on this vehicle, especially when you look at it straight from the back. You can see how those fenders are flared out in the back, so they're a little bit wider in the back, and a kind of very nice, sleek, thin lights, but LED lights, very nice, very bright. And also again, this color combination with this carbon fiber mini spoiler right on the trunk here. And then you have all-wheel drive Infiniti and QX60S. That's what it says. That's how you release the trunk. We're going to pop that open just a little bit. One very important thing to mention, look at these exhausts. They're nice, they're big, they're kind of encased in this piano black, like we had that front grille piano black, as well as this rear splitter right here, and the rear portion of this bumper is piano black. Very nicely designed. Now this is a design element only, and it does have some reflector lights, so that basically concludes this portion right here. And let's see how much room we have in the trunk of this vehicle. All right, well, I didn't expect a lot, but I gotta tell you, it's pretty deep trunk. Let's see if it has a spare tire in here. It doesn't, but it does have the inflation tool and tools to actually remove the wheel, so you can remove it, but you don't have anything to change it with. However, you know, like I always said, there is a tray right underneath here that can be removed, and I believe the spare tire would fit in there nicely. The seats, one piece folds down, and this is how you release it. Basically pull on this, and then if you get locked up inside the trunk, this little handle glows in the dark, so all you have to do is pull it, and basically that's going to release the trunk. So let's check how this door sounds. Pretty good. It is a frameless design door, which means there's no frame on top of this glass, so that always going to be a little bit rattling, not as solid as on the full frame design on the door. But let's take a look at this door right here. First of all, the one thing that jumps out on this, as soon as you get in this vehicle, even before you do, it's all the premium materials used by Infiniti. This beautiful leather with this contrast stitching right here. Now you have the carbon package on this vehicle, so that includes this carbon fiber trim all around this door handle. Then you have your regular suspects right here, window mirror and lock controls, and then you have the grab handle and the contrast stitching continues on this black leather as well. You do have a Bose Performance Series stereo on this particular one and another speaker at the bottom. Very little storage in the door seat itself. Now Infiniti right here embossed in the door sill, and then this is a 4-seater vehicle. So let's move this seat. I'm not gonna get in there. I did, and you know, I could fit in there. I'm 6 feet tall. It wasn't very comfortable, but yes, I could fit in there. The way the seats are profiled, they actually hug you nice. So 4 people can fit in this vehicle as long as the driver is not extremely tall. Now you do have cup holders right in the back here, and that is pretty much it. But I want to point out something. Look at the leather, the stitching, the design of the seat. Let's look at the front one, because that's probably going to be a little bit easier. Push the button, the seat moves backwards. Love it. Okay, you have 3 different patterns in here. You have the solid design, you have the perforated one, you have a different shade of white. White is the color of this interior, and then you have this stitching, the contrast stitching going all across the seat, all around those tubing pieces right in there, and the bottom bolsters. Now the seat, of course, is electric controls for the seat, and then you also have, I believe it's a massage function. We'll check that out. Okay, so the car is running, so let's check out the interior of this Q60 Red Sport all-wheel drive edition. I gotta tell you, the premium materials continues all throughout this car. I love how this dashboard is finished in this soft plastic, but also has this contrast stitching, you know, on top of it. The contrast stitching is also visible right on the side on this dashboard right here, and then you can see it does have the carbon fiber trim that completely encompasses that infotainment system, double stack infotainment system. We'll get to that in a second. And then it goes right here in the middle console. You do have the regular cup holders. And steering wheel, you know, I was kind of hoping for the flat bottom steering wheel, since it is a performance car, so it kind of accentuate that a little bit more. Bunch of buttons on the steering wheel. So you have the volume control right here, back button, some kind of a up and down button that basically controls your media sources, and then you have your phone buttons right here. That's for your cruise control and adaptive cruise control, and then these page buttons control what's going on in this middle screen right there, which we're going to check out now. And then this button right here, just like most of the vehicles have, that basically shows you all the safety features and different zones, whether they're enabled or disabled in here. So instrument cluster. Okay, Infiniti decided to stick with the analog instrument cluster for the most part. So you have the analog tachometer on the left and speedometer on the right, and then of course you have your temperature gauge on the left and the fuel gauge on the right. The only place that's adjustable, that's customizable, is this tiny little screen in the middle, which you can see speed 0 miles per hour. And see what else we have here. So range, no warnings, engine oil, tire pressure, driving aids, audio, navigation, fuel economy, trip distance, and go back to the screen. So few different options that you can change, but not a lot. And then what do we have here? This double stack infotainment system. It is the same screens as you've seen in the previous generation one. However, the software has been updated on this one. And what's important for all of you Apple lovers, it does have wireless Apple CarPlay. However, the little disappointment for the Android lovers, it is still wired connection for that. So the top screen right here, first of all, is it touchscreen? Yes, it is. So they still kept it a touchscreen. You can control it via touchscreen. You can control it via the controller I'm going to show you in just a minute. So navigation system right off the bat, you can see that this is kind of the same navigation system we've seen on the older Nissan model. So it's not the best, but I guess we'll do the job. Maybe for the next generation they're going to upgrade it to the newest, latest, greatest one. Now this portion right here looks a little bit different than on the previous gen one, and that has a little bit more options. So you can have menu, destinations, point of interest, home, more choices, and then you have a bunch of options right here. In-touch services, Infiniti drive mode selector. So basically it does have several modes that are already pre-programmed, as well as it has a mode where you can customize it, and that's where you do it. So you can select engine, transmission, and you can select standard, eco, sport, or snow. And you can do the same thing with steering, suspension, active traction control, reset drive mode settings to default. Okay, yep, I'm gonna reset it and go back to the main menu. And this is it. So not too much going on in this infotainment system. If I were to complain about something, that would really be one thing for improvement, is this infotainment system. It kind of seems like it is 5 years old, which it is basically. And then at the bottom here, you have the CD player. Not many vehicles have it, but some of them do. We just did the RC Lexus and they still had it. And this is your radio controls. Heated seats. I don't know if there's an option for ventilated. This vehicle doesn't have it, but it does have the 3 settings for the heated seats. And then you have the outlet right here. No wireless charging, at least not that I can see. And you have some shortcut buttons for your climate control on both sides of this instrument cluster. Visually, it doesn't look that bad. I just wish it had a little bit more functionality. Okay, as far as the gear selector right here, the shifter, it looks pretty darn good. It's got the Infiniti logo right on top. It's got this red stitching all on this leather trim right here. And then you have the regular shifters. Of course, you do have the pedal shifters on the steering wheel as well. And this is a controller where you can do controls. If you don't want to do a touch screen, you can control what's going on in this middle screen right there. And go back. Whenever you like something, you just select it and it's gonna go to this. Of course, you can always hit the home button, and no, we don't want to put the home selection, but home menu button is right here, and that's basically what this is. Let's set this up to auto because it is getting a little toasty here. And what else do we have here? There's a camera button. Turn that on. Oh, you do have a 360 camera, which is nice. However, the screen is kind of small. And then can I change the different views? At the bottom here, you can see change view. And then you have the side view, change view. You have the regular view without the 360, without the top view. And then we go back. So 2 different views. Okay, and then you have sensors, and then you have parking sensors that are enabled or disabled, so you can do that as well. And then moving on to the bottom part in here, you do have a drive selector. And what drives do we have? I think I already showed you part of it, but let's turn off the camera here and let's see. Drive selector, you have personal. This is the one that you can do your own settings: Sport Plus, Sport Standard, Eco, and Snow. Those are different drive modes that are available. It says Snow currently and available for some reason. Or is that Eco? Well, one of the 2. Anyways, moving on. Cup holders. And then you have the USB-C, USB, and the audio button, as well as the regular 12-volt charger. That is basically it. One more thing to check out is the sunroof. It does have a sunroof. It is not panoramic. It's rather small, but it is there, and it is a slide only. Yep. Okay, you have a little bit of a windscreen, and then you have a LED reading lights, sunglass holder, and this is it. This is your interior of this 2022 Q60 400 all-wheel drive. Let's take it for a spin. Okay, as the engine is running, I'm ready to take it for a spin. Before we do that, let's talk about 3 different trims that are available for this year's Q60. So the first one is the Pure, and that actually starts at about $42,775. The Luxe Edition, which is the middle of the line, that's at $51,325, and the Red Sport 400 is at $59,225. 225. Now this particular one is at 60,200 base MSRP, but it is an all-wheel drive version, and total with all the equipment that this particular one has is at 65,290. One thing that I didn't mention before is the gas mileage, because it is important. Well, you are buying a performance coupe, so you know it's going to be affected a little bit, but the gas mileage is 21 combined. It's 19 in the city and 26 on the expressway, so it's not the greatest. And price-wise, at $65,000, it's kind of on the high end of things in here. I got to tell you, overall, I mean, on the outside, this vehicle looks absolutely amazing. It's gonna turn some heads no matter where you go, so hopefully they're gonna do it to us too. Take it for a spin. We kind of checked out the rear view camera. One thing I didn't check out is how this vehicle turns, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, turn the steering wheel all the way, and I will see. 3, 4, about 4 parking spaces, so that's very much in range with what is expected out of a vehicle like this. It's about 4 parking spaces that I measure on most of the vehicles tested in about this size, so pretty nice. Let's see, am I in a sport mode? I'll put it in Sport Plus mode, see if there is any noticeable difference between different modes that are available. So that should tighten the steering and the suspension and all that good stuff. Suspension is fairly tough, but it's not, I mean, you still go over little bumps and it's not bad at all. There's a little bit of that tire hum coming through to the cabin. Those are big wheels, 20-inch wheels, high performance tires. Okay, on paper it says about 4.5 seconds 0 to 60. I don't have any measuring equipment. All I can just tell you is how it feels, whether it feels fast or sluggish, and we're going to check that out right now. Matter of fact, you know, I can probably hit it from the stop to go, and let's see, 1, 2, 3. That is pretty peppy. It's not like push you back in your seat fast, but it is definitely capable. It sounds good doing it too. So I mean, vehicle looks good. It sounds good. It drives fast. I think that's a winner in my book. There are, however, a few things that I would like changed on this vehicle, and because it is towards the end of the model of this one, I believe they might change it, especially with the new 370 coming out, the Nissan or 300 coming out. That might actually affect what's inside of this Infiniti, because they usually go head to head. Now you can see the first glimpse of what's going on in the new Nissan 300 basically, and that's that power plant that we have here. That's basically going to be the same thing, as well as that exhaust that you've seen in the back. That's basically going to be the same thing as well. So hopefully they're going to upgrade the infotainment system on the Nissan. They're going to translate it into here. Other than that, it feels great. You know, the seats, they kind of hug you, and the leather is so nice and welcoming and smells good too when you walk in this vehicle. So definitely a premium sporty coupe, definitely worth looking into. However, Nissan, you know, I know it's making its comeback with a lot of different models. You have the technology. You've showed us that you can do nice bigger screens, and put it on this vehicle. It could be a winner, definitely in the coupe category. By the way, what does it compete against? M440 probably, Mercedes-Benz C43 coupe maybe, and Audi S5. Vehicles such as this, the RC on the Lexus. So price-wise, I mean, it is priced right in the middle there, so it's not priced out of the market. And definitely, if looks could kill, I'd be dead, because this is a great looking vehicle. So guys, thank you for watching. If you have gotten that far in this video, consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that little bell notification button. Give me a little pep up. Give me this thumbs up button. And until then, I will see you in my next video. Cheers.